Okay, here we are again in the streets of Oakland. Once again, this is 2021. We did a video last year about the homeless encampment and the garbage that's building up in Oakland. And since then, it has increased, not decreased, since last year. It's got worse since then. Here we are on 45th Street off of Martin Luther King Jr. Street. And here you see all the homeless encampments. It's grown. Such a filthy and terrible condition. As you can see, all the sidewalk is filled up under the overpass, and the conditions are terrible. Garbage all on the sidewalks and the street, and the conditions are such terrible conditions. Now we are going down another street, and I think this is 36th Street off of Martin Luther King Jr. Street. This is also in North Oakland, and once again you can see the conditions that the people are living in. We must try to solve these problems of the homeless encampments and the garbage that's being put on the streets. Now we're going down Martin Luther King Jr. Street, and as you can see, you have much more homeless encampments than it was last year. So it's growing, it's increasing. It's almost increased double or triple the amount that it was here last year. And this is on a street named after a great man as Martin Luther King. Such a disgrace and a disservice to a great man like Martin Luther King to have a street named after him in this condition. Now, as you can see, last year it was just homeless encampment on one side. Now they're on both sides of the street. And this homeless encampment runs from, I think, 26th Street to East or West Grand Avenue. That's a long stretch of homeless encampment. These are conditions that people are living in Oakland. And what makes it so bad is the trash that's being piled up and nobody's picking it up. That trash and garbage is going to create rodents and also diseases. And if we don't take care of this, we're going to have more diseases, more than just the corona. No telling what kind of disease is going to come out of this garbage and filth that's being all out in the street. And the people that's living in these conditions are being exposed to it. No health and sanitary conditions that these people are living in. How are they showering and taking and cleaning themselves? We're going to have more people in the hospital and sick if we don't solve this problem. Okay, this is now, I think, on 30th Street. This is also off of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Such disgrace. We as a people and citizens of this country need to have a moral consciousness to try to solve this problem of the homeless encampment. Now, can you see, look at all this garbage. It's just laying there. Nobody's picking it up. Can you imagine what kind of rodents are coming out of these conditions? Now we're here in a more exclusive area. This is Lake Merritt. Now, Lake Merritt has always been an exclusive area, nice residential area, but also in this area, now they also have a homeless encampment. You can see the apartment units here, nice apartment units or motel, and right across the street from this apartment and motel, you have a whole lot of homeless encampments in an empty lot with garbage piled up and the living conditions terrible. Can you imagine in an exclusive area like Lake Mary, where you have people living in these motels and hotels, have to look at these conditions, have to be surrounded by this kind of condition. And just think about the people that live in apartment units right across from this. Can you imagine if you had to live across from a homeless encampment? When you look out your window, you would see all this garbage and filth. You can see the apartments right across the street from this homeless encampment. Just think that the conditions that they might be creating rodents, and these rodents will eventually go across the street and come into your apartment. Can you imagine that you have to live in a situation like that? It don't take long. Rodents travel, and it won't take long before they invade that apartment building right across the street from this homeless encampment. Would you want to live in this condition? Ask yourself that. We must find a way as a people to solve this problem. The city officials must take action to do something, to pick up the garbage and to help get rid of this homeless situation. Now we're here out in East Oakland, and I filmed this area too on East 12th Street. I think this starts from 14th Avenue, and I think it runs to about 22nd Avenue. Can you see all the filth that's lined up? And it's gotten worse, and it's grown since the last time I filmed this area. So the homeless encampment and the garbage and filth and trash that's on the streets of Oakland is continue to grow. It's almost like a dumping ground. The whole city has become a dumping ground. And this is just a few locations. I can't cover all of them. This is one, and I plan to put more videos in later day showing the conditions in all the other areas. It's so many areas. Can you see all the garbage that's piled up and nobody's picking it up? Such terrible conditions, such terrible. If you're living in conditions that's not like this, your heart should go out. You should want to try to help solve this problem that exists in Oakland and other cities. You should have a moral consciousness that people shouldn't live like this. Can you see all the garbage and trash that exists, and people are living in these conditions? So I just want to share this with those of you who might not ever travel through Oakland. You might live in nice, exclusive homes. Look at that. Now all this garbage right there in the aisle, piled up. Nobody's picking it up. Can you imagine the rats and rodents and the diseases that can come from this? And I just wanted to make sure that you can see some of the conditions that you might not see, since you're indoors and a lot of people are not traveling out of their homes, so they don't really see what's going on outside the city. And I hope this can be shared with others, so they can be exposed and maybe find the consciousness and the spirit to want to try to help solve this problem. So I say in ending this that you must think in a way that this is not just affecting other people, but eventually it will affect you. One way or another, these conditions that you're allowing or people are being put in eventually will get to you, one way or another. It might be through moving next door to you or causing you, harm, maybe trying to steal something from you. That's going to force people to do terrible things to try to survive. Also, living like this puts them in a frame of mind that they don't care. They lose consciousness, and they lose their moral consciousness, and so therefore they become suicidal. Look at this garbage pile such filth. Would you want to live in a condition or even in an area that has this kind of condition? You might be miles away from it, but eventually, if you don't solve it, it's eventually going to travel to your area. Thank you for watching this video.